So, I want to talk about something today that took me a while to actually admit to myself. I've kind of stopped chasing wealth, not stopped investing, not stopped caring about money. That's still a big part of how I spend my time and honestly one of my favorite hobbies. But the chasing part, that's gone. And I want to walk through why, because it wasn't some big dramatic realization. It crept up on me. There was a stretch where I genuinely believed the whole thing would get easier if I just earned more. Bigger number, fewer problems. That was the quiet assumption running under everything. And the strange part is, the harder I chased it, the less rich I actually felt. Not poor. That's not the word for it. Just kind of empty. Like I wasn't stressed by life anymore. I was stressed by the chase itself. At some point, I noticed I'd never actually chosen that goal. I'd inherited it. When you're younger, wealth just means the big salary, the impressive job title, the stuff that photographs well. Then a bit further down the line, the maths quietly changes on you. Time starts outweighing salary. Energy starts outweighing status. Being calm starts mattering more than looking impressive. And freedom starts looking like the only thing that actually matters. I was chasing a scoreboard I never picked. That was the first thing worth admitting. Here's the trap, plainly. We expect money to dissolve stress, worry, comparison, uncertainty. But none of that actually lives in a bank balance. It lives in habits, in how you see yourself, in what you've decided matters, in how your normal week is built. Money can help with a lot of things. It doesn't heal any of that on its own. Once I stopped expecting money to do emotional work it was never built for, I started asking a completely different question. Not how do I get richer, but how do I actually want my days to feel? And that gave me answers that had nothing to do with income. More time, less stress, work I don't dread, simpler finances, room for the people and things that matter. The part nobody warns you about is how blinding the chase is. When you're in it, there's always a next rung, next salary, next milestone, next purchase. You're never quite finished, never quite satisfied, never really here. It's wild how fast you can lose the ability to just enjoy an ordinary Tuesday while you're busy reaching past it. Wealth, it turns out, isn't the thing you're chasing. It's closer to the thing you miss out on while you're chasing something else. I care about stability now, not quick wins. There was a time I wanted fast, quick trades, chasing a bigger number this year. Now I'd rather things be slow and boring on purpose. Automatic. The same amount into the market every month without me having to think about it or feel clever about it. Calm, orderly finances beat exciting ones every time. And I like having more than one source of that calm. A salary alongside something growing quietly in the background, rather than betting everything on one thing going right. If I had to boil the whole thing down to one formula, it's this. Mindset builds the money, not the other way round. Discipline, focus, calmer self-respect, better habits, more patience. Build that foundation first, and the money tends to arrive at its own pace, without panic. Chase the money first with no foundation under it, and you've got nothing to stand on when it wobbles. So instead of hunting for more, I started protecting what I already have. And the thing that actually moved the needle wasn't a bigger income. It was lowering my expectations a bit, trimming costs, slowing down, letting the stress out of the system. There's a strange trick in that. The less you need, the richer you actually become. The person who demands the least ends up the freest. Hardly anyone genuinely wants to be rich for its own sake. What they actually want is time, flexibility, a bit of control over their own days, peace, and the ability to make their own calls. That's the real currency, freedom of choice. And none of that requires millions. It just requires a life with fewer demands on it. So that's the life I'm actually building now. One where money isn't the source of stress, where I'm not working myself into the ground, where I have room to take care of myself, grow at a reasonable pace, and not lean on one single source of income. where I can live simply, and maybe most importantly, not feel like I owe anyone proof of anything. Funny thing is, the moment you stop hunting, you get more creative, you make sharper decisions, you actually pick work you like instead of work that pays best. You build slower but stronger. And the money, it still shows up, just not explosively, steadily. Money's a tool, mindset's the foundation, freedom's the actual goal.